This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Hello, and thank you for tuning in to A Sharp Outlook on K4HD Radio and Talk 4 TV. I am Angela Sharp, your host. Our armchair discussions with industry experts will give you the steps, tools, and information to be successful in business and to prepare you to be your best self. Hello, I'm Angela Sharp, and welcome to A Sharp Outlook. Have you ever thought about living your dream? Well, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to be talking about exploring the journeys of artists, entrepreneurs, and individuals who have pursued their passions and built fulfilling lives. We delve into challenges, triumphs, and the lessons that they learned along the way, offering inspiration and practical advice for listeners seeking to live more authentically and purposefully. My guest was involved in jazz as a music. I love jazz. There's something about it, listening to jazz. You don't have to have words. You can make up your own words. You can have your own style. You can sing your own song. So I love that. It's an African rhythmic sound, and it's heard in gospel, hymns, marches, vaudeville, and majority of all dance music. A major form of musical expression in traditional, cultural, and popular music. Jazz is characterized by its complex chords and call and responses, vocals and polyrhythms and improvisation. In other words, jazz has a language that is understood worldwide, and it is a music that is around worldwide. Most people enjoy jazz, and you can hear the message without words. It speaks to the depths of your soul. Today, we will have a conversation with the legendary jazz pianist and organist Bobby Floyd, exploring his musical journey, influences, and perspectives on the current state of jazz. Bobby Floyd is a masterful pianist whose journey began during childhood and has led him to stages around the world. Bobby's passion for music was ignited at a young age and fueled a career filled with creativity, collaboration, and dedication. So I'd like to ask Bobby to join us right now, and we can explore his life and artistry of true music visionary. As I read his bio, I would love for him to join me. He has just accomplished so much over the years. Bobby Floyd is a highly acclaimed and jazz and blues pianist, organist, vocalist, and composer, known for his dynamic performances and soulful improvisations. Born in Ohio, we were both born in the same town. Hallelujah. Bobby began playing piano at a young age, influenced by gospel music and sounds of jazz legends. He developed his skills through self-taught, formal training, countless hours of practice, and eventually establishing himself as a prominent figure in the Columbus music scene. Bobby's career has spanned several decades, during which he has performed with numerous renowned artists and ensembles. He has toured extensively, captivating on the audiences with his energetic stage presence and virtuosic playing. His repertoire includes a wide range of jazz standards, blues, classics, original compositions, all delivered with his signature blend of technical skill and emotional depth. In addition to his work as a performer, he's also dedicated time to teach others in master classes and workshops and institutions so that others can to learn to have this same type of career. Also, there was a record called All About the Basie, and it was nominated, and Bobby played on just about every track on that album. It was nominated for a Grammy and for the best large ensemble and was released in 2018. Bobby played with Count Basie Orchestra for 6 years and was excited, I'm sure, to be walking the red carpet on Sunday, February 10th, 2019. That was some event, wasn't it, Bobby?
That was great. It was real great. I consider myself lucky, and lucky because I was in the right place at the right time. I just
Hmm.
happened to be playing on the Basie Orchestra at that time, and we were recording. Um, and at the time I was playing with Basie, I was also playing with Dr. John.
Oh,
So
God.
I was doing multiple tours, and
Hmm.
for 2 3 weeks I would play with Dr. John and catch a plane to wherever and play with Basie. But it just so happened I turned down Dr. John to do the recording with Basie.
Hmm.
The Basie album, I still call it albums. I'm old school.
Oh, yes, it
Uh,
is album. I have a few.
uh, or record.
Yeah.
Uh, and it was nominated for a Grammy. But actually, on one of the later albums, a lot of people don't know about this. I happened to be in the right place at the right time. I recorded with the Basie Orchestra again, and I only played one song on it. That album won a Grammy.
Oh,
That album, and this is really right.
congratulations.
And the name of it is something like Basie Plays the Blues.
Hmm.
It's something like that. But if you look it up, you'll probably be able to find it.
Oh,
But
I will.
there's one song on there called Rock Candy,
Hmm.
and I'm the organist on it.
Hmm.
And George Benson is playing guitar
Oh,
on
my
it.
goodness. You got all the
Um,
greats in your life.
and I take a short solo on it, and then he plays a solo, and it's a
Hmm.
nice sort of up tempo song. But that
Hmm.
song, a lot of people don't know about it. But that song, that one song on there, I'm on that album won a Grammy.
Won a Grammy. My
Uh-huh.
goodness. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm proud. My hometown guy has just reached
Well,
the stars, and that is just
well,
so, amazing.
I'm proud of you also. It
Well,
looks like
thank you.
you're doing some real great and meaningful things, and that's great. So
Yeah.
congratulations to you.
Well, thank you so much. I'm
Hmm.
just trying to stay busy, and I love to talk, and I love to inspire others,
Hmm.
and help them maybe not follow some of the decisions that I had taken in my path, or some of the places that I've been. I've worked with
Hmm.
different types of people, and I love music. Do you remember? Well, I'm going to get into it. This is how you started, Bobby. Your
Okay.
mom, Mrs. Vera
Hmm.
Floyd, we call her Mother Floyd,
Hmm.
played the piano at our church,
Hmm.
and I'm sure listening to her play, you just like, I want to do that.
Of
And I
course.
think, was it
Right.
around 6 years old
Hmm.
you began to start playing for the church?
Yes. Uh-huh. Do you remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
We had some great
Um,
songs that we used to be
yes,
singing. I
we
mean, we
did.
had some great,
We did.
yeah.
Saint Paul Church of God in Christ.
Yeah, we used to
Yeah.
sing, and remember, I used to sing a lot of solos,
I remember. I
and
remember that.
I thought I would take the musical path, but I realized I was too shy to do it. So,
Well, I'm shy too,
yeah, yeah,
but the music speaks for itself, so
yeah, yeah,
we don't have
yeah,
to say a whole lot.
yeah. You
Yeah.
would get in there, and that head, your feet would
Hmm.
get to going on the organ, and your head got to moving. I knew
Hmm.
the spirit was moving then.
Right.
And we were
Right.
just so excited. I mean, we were singing some of those old songs. Victory,
Hmm.
victory shall be mine. I'm so
Uh-huh.
glad Jesus lifted me. I mean, all of those good old gospel songs.
Those were the good ones.
Yeah,
Those were
yeah,
the good
they
ones.
were, and they had so
Uh-huh.
much. They said so much, and they lifted people. And
They
music
did.
does lift people,
It
lift
does.
their
It does.
spirit, and you know, because there's a
Hmm.
lot of sadness,
True.
in the atmosphere right now, and
Hmm.
just hearing a nice chord, or some songs, or it doesn't even have to have words. The music itself takes you to a place where it can
It
soothe and
does.
comfort, and really change,
Um,
how you're
we
feeling and things
yeah.
like that.
I
So,
played I played a gig last night. That's what we call a gig is
I
a
remember
perform
gig.
a performance last
Hmm.
night at a place I play at every Sunday night. And after we played, a lady walked up to me and said, "Oh, thank you so much. You just helped me because I can get through my week." You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
and I
and
said, "Wow, and that happens a lot. But every time somebody says something like that to me, it kind of reminds me of what you just said.
yeah,
Music moves you like that. It affects you in that way.
yes, it
I don't
does.
know what she was dealing with, what she was going through, but
Hmm.
whatever it was, what we played last night is going to help her, get through it all.
Right, right,
So
and
that's
it's
true.
really,
That is so
really,
true.
really important.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I was looking it up and I saw where you had quite a few other people that you played with, Chuck Mangione, Houston Pearson,
Hmm.
Branford Marsalis,
Hmm.
Roy Hargrove, Mavis Staples, Gerald Wilson,
Right.
uh, John Clayton, like you said, Dr.
Hmm.
John, Lewis Nash,
Right.
Byron Stripling. Oh my gosh, Doc Severinsen.
Hmm.
I mean, you've
Hmm.
got them all. Ray Charles.
Yeah.
Uh, you.
A lot of those were one-offs,
Mm-hmm.
just one time. But some of them, I still play with some of those people. I play with John Clayton sometimes. I
Mm-hmm.
just played with him about a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, I did. I played with him about a month ago in Vail. I play the Vail Jazz Festival just about every year,
Yeah.
and he runs the Vail Jazz Festival. But yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
still play with a lot of those people.
Yeah.
But like you named some of Roy Hargrove. It was just a week, 1 week,
Mm-hmm.
a
Mm-hmm.
series of concerts, and some of those other people. But yes, I played with all those people and
Well,
more.
those were some of the favorite artists out there at that time.
Uh-huh.
They're the jazz greats. So I mean, that's just that's an amazing, amazing thing. So tell me about Errol Garner, because I think he's the one that really kind of influenced you to want to play jazz. Is that true?
Yes, yes. I loved as a little boy growing up, my father, and you knew my father. He
Yes.
loved jazz piano,
Mm-hmm.
and he played just a little bit, just good enough to start me off.
Mm-hmm.
But he loved, he played jazz records, and Earl Garner actually really caught my attention, his style of playing. So he was my favorite artist growing up. He was my
Yeah.
favorite artist growing up.
Yeah.
And you probably know about the story where he came to our hometown.
Mm-hmm.
The Marion Concert Association brought him to the Marion Palace Theater.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad of course, he took me out to hear him. And
Right.
that was a big inspirational moment in my life,
Mhm,
because they
mhm.
took me backstage. I met him. I actually sat down and played the piano for him, and I played his big hit. His big song was Misty.
Oh,
Every
really?
every
Okay.
look at me, do 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 dee
Mhm,
dee. Dee.
mhm.
So I played that for him. He was really impressed. So that was a real big inspiration in
Oh
my
my
life.
gosh. I mean, we're talking about someone actually living a dream. I mean,
Yes,
most people can't even identify what their gift is, what their purpose is, what they
true.
should be doing with their lives, and they
Uh-huh.
miss the opportunity of doing what they love most. I try to
True.
tell people, whenever I'm on the show or even when I'm meeting them, if you're
Hmm.
trying to pick something to do, make sure it's something you're going to enjoy doing for the rest of your life, because you're going to be putting that time in at least 50, maybe 60 years. So you better
True.
love it.
You know,
And
it's yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Wow. It's a coincidence. I mean, it's funny that you bring it up because I say the same thing to young people.
Mm-hmm.
I do the exact same thing you just said. I tell young people that all the time. And
Yeah.
there's so many miserable people in this world because
Mm-hmm.
they're getting up at 9 in the morning and leaving their jobs at 5, and they don't like what they're doing.
Right. Right.
So they're miserable.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
miserable for like years until they retire, like 30 years. doing the same thing every day, and they don't like it. So I tell people to find out what just as long as it's legit.
Right.
I mean, you might find something that you
Yeah,
like
we don't
doing
want to
that
do those
you're
kind
not
of
supposed to be doing, right? But if
right.
it's legit, and if you enjoy doing it, try to make that your career, your occupation, your
Yeah.
life, and
Yeah.
you'll be happy.
That was one of the things, my father passed,
Mm-hmm.
when I was 17 years old. And one of the last things he told me to do, he said, because my mother and father they were waiting until I graduated so they could go and travel and see the world and do all these things. And they, delayed doing some things they wanted to do. And then he
Right.
got ill with cancer and passed. But the
Mm-hmm.
one thing he told me was, whatever you do, do
Mm-hmm.
whatever you feel you can do. Don't
Right.
apologize for what you're doing. Don't
Uh-huh.
be afraid to go after what you want to do.
True.
Do
Yeah.
what
Mm-hmm.
you want to do and
Mm-hmm.
make sure it fulfills your life and it makes you happy.
True.
Don't ever stop being
True.
who you want to be and doing the things that you want to do. So I
Right.
pretty much have done everything. I mean, I've owned a
Okay.
restaurant,
Good.
I've traveled and done
Mm-hmm.
my work. I've been a foster mother. I mean,
Yeah.
the list goes on and
That's
on and
great.
on.
That's
I've gone to
good for
prisons
you.
and
Yeah.
taught. I've gone to treatment centers and taught. I
Mm-hmm.
used to be a pastor of a church for the homeless because
Oh,
they don't
wow.
feel
Okay.
comfortable going to regular churches. And
No.
shame on churches that do not welcome the homeless
Right.
because they need the same thing that you need. And they should
True.
not be feeling ashamed or
Right.
feeling like they don't belong or feeling
Mm-hmm.
like they're not welcome. That is
True.
not what we're about. That's not who
Yeah.
we're supposed to be. And
No.
so I
No.
welcomed them.
Uh-huh.
And, we had a pretty nice little congregation and we would feed them after
Mm-hmm.
service, and they would come off the streets and
Mm-hmm.
and we would have service and I would teach to them and then we'd share a meal and I did that for quite a few years also. So
Oh, that's great. That's great.
I've just done everything that I kind of
Yeah.
felt like I wanted to do.
Well, living your dream.
Yeah, I
Living
just
your
haven't
dream.
stopped dreaming is what the problem is.
Well, but I mean, we're supposed to continue dreaming. I'd say keep dreaming the rest of your life.
Well,
You
yeah,
know.
I
Yeah.
probably will.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, has anyone else shaped your career that you can think of?
Oh, that's a good question. There are quite a few people that have. There have been like
Mhm.
lots of influences in my life from the very beginning. I mean, I can go all the way back to uh, Miss L.T. Dukes. I don't know if
Mhm.
you remember who she was. She
Mhm.
was the piano teacher in Marion, Ohio,
Mhm.
that started me off.
Yeah.
And I went from her to Maury Klein. That was another piano teacher in Marion. So my
Mhm.
piano teachers, I mean, there were so many people, the pastors in our churches,
Mhm.
uh, they help shape, the church mothers, the missionaries, the
Yeah.
deacons,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm so glad I grew up playing in church because I mean I don't go to the same church that I grew up in right now.
Right,
And
right.
a lot of my beliefs are different from what they taught us
Mhm.
growing
Yes.
up. But I feel like I'm well grounded,
Mhm. Mhm.
just from that experience of growing up and
Right.
learning to do what is right and not do what's wrong.
Right.
So
Right.
that and I don't know if you're talking about just influences in general or music related influences, but
Mhm.
I guess I'm just talking in general.
Yeah, in
Uh,
general. Oh, yeah, all of
yeah,
them. I mean, I
all of
am
it.
so happy for even though mother was strict, I am so happy I got that foundation from her and my
Right.
grandmothers, and
Hmm.
I have a firm foundation, and like you said, I may not have, you know, believe some of the things that we were taught because I've
Hmm.
had a chance to do my own research, my own study, and
There
I
you
did
go.
go
Right.
to a Bible college, so I could get my license and everything.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I'm well rooted, I'm well grounded. I know what's
Hmm.
true, I know what isn't true, I
Right.
know what is right, I know what
Mhm.
is wrong, And
Mhm.
the main thing is, I was always taught, and I believe it to this day, you're going to reap what you sow. And if you
Mhm.
want to have a good garden, you need to plant
Plant
good seeds.
seeds. Uh-huh.
And if not, you're going to have weeds that's choking out everything. And then you're going to be saying, why is this happening? Well,
Mhm.
remember those people that you used to say ugly things about? Remember those people that you thought weren't good enough and you said ugly things about them? You remember those, you're
Right.
planting seeds in a garden that as you grow older, you're going to have to reap it. And your
Right.
crop is going to be really either
Mhm.
wonderful, great, and beautiful and
Beautiful.
flourishing, or it's
Uh-huh.
going to be rotten. And
Uh,
you're going to have to remember no one planted in your garden but you.
but you.
And
Uh-huh.
so that's
Mhm.
truly important.
Yep.
So tell
Mhm.
me, tell me kind of what was your process when because you also have composed some music. So what is your process in composing music?
Inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that's the biggest thing. I don't compose as much as I should.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but but I do it. I still do it. Um, but any um, part of a melody that comes to me, like a motif, we call it motifs in the
Mm-hmm.
music theory, that comes to me, and if I like it, I'll work with it and try to develop it and make it into something else. And for the most part, most of the time, it's a long process.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have like little phrases, musical phrases that I came up with like years ago, but haven't done anything with it because I can't think of anything else to go with it. But but
Mm-hmm.
but then there's the opposite. I do have phrases that I put together, and I was able to make it into a song. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but the initial thing, first thing that causes that is just like that first phrase that comes to me that inspires me. It could be anything. It could be 4 notes, 3 notes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you just keep hearing it in your head and you want to do something with it. I want to do something with it. So that's the start of the process,
Mm-hmm.
and it could be like a lot of different avenues that you go down or through to get to complete it, like working with other musicians on the same song.
Right.
Um, or getting ideas from other sources to put into your song.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there's like a lot of different ways you can go through to develop that.
Hmm. I
Mhm.
know I tried to play the piano, but it didn't work out because I had to cut my fingernails and I wasn't going to do that. So
Oh,
vanity.
right,
So
right.
then I even got a guitar and I thought, okay, I don't have to cut my fingernails.
Okay.
And then it's like, no, you're going to have to get calluses on your fingers. On
Uh,
my fingers? No, can't do this one either. So I had to sell my guitar.
yeah. Well,
So I guess that was not for me.
yeah. I see the piano. Your piano sitting back there.
Yeah, yeah.
If I ever
Well, I
come to
do have a
Seattle,
piano. Yeah.
if I come up to Seattle, I have to come over and play it.
Yeah, I tried, taking lessons,
Hmm.
and it's just something about it. I just couldn't get to the point where I was relaxed and not watching my hands, and I was looking at the notes and looking
Right.
up and down. It just wasn't working. I just couldn't let go, trying to control it. So I just thought, this is frustrating. I'm not having fun, and so it's
Well,
just not
yeah,
what it
that
just
kind that
wasn't
kind of
working.
catches me by surprise because you were like really a good singer while we were growing up,
Yeah,
and there were
yeah,
people in your family that were musical.
yeah, yeah.
Jeannie, I remember Jeannie playing the piano.
She was playing the piano,
I
and
remember
we
that.
had our little Sharp Sister singers, and we would
Hmm.
go around and it was the
Right,
Sharp Sisters, and we had our little
right.
group and sang and went to the conferences in Mansfield and Detroit,
Hmm.
but then everybody went their separate ways, and so we never completed
Right.
that
No.
journey.
Hmm.
Um, I kind of miss that we didn't, but
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, we used to sing quite a bit, but I just couldn't stand up by myself. I just didn't have
Okay.
that confidence. Um,
Okay.
I probably could now, but I can't
You probably
sing.
could now. Uh-huh. Right. Okay.
I don't have that voice anymore. So if you don't use it, you kind of lose it. But it's enough for me to give my praises that I need to give.
Okay, that's
And so that's what's important. What are
mhm.
some of your memorable moments? Because you've done a lot of touring. Or were there any tours that you went on that were more memorable than others? Or
Well, I tell you, one of my favorite places to go to is Japan.
hmm,
Uh, I love going to Japan because the people there, they love our music.
mm-hmm,
They love jazz, and they actually, in a lot of cases, know more about the history of our music than we do.
mm,
And they
interesting.
respect you. They treat you like kings and queens when you go to Japan. You know, there's a nightclub, a very popular nightclub that's known throughout the whole world called the Blue Note.
Right, right.
And there are Blue Notes. There used to be quite a few throughout Japan, Tokyo, and all the other cities in Japan. And we played quite a few of them. And
Mm-hmm,
they give you the red carpet treatment there. They love your music when they come out to hear you.
mm-hmm,
You know, you play and it's quiet. It's totally quiet. You can hear a pin drop on the floor.
mm-hmm.
It's that quiet, and you think, man, are these people sitting out here going to sleep? You know, but they're like just listening.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
there's
what you
just so
said.
focused on what you're playing. It's almost intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but after you play, they just go nuts. They clap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
Oh.
so yeah, Japan is one of my favorite places to go to. Uh, I love just about everywhere I've been.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to a lot of places. I played in South America a couple times, in Brazil, and Lima,
Mm-hmm.
and the people respect the music down there. They treat you well.
Mm-hmm.
The food down there is
Oh,
great.
excellent. Yeah.
It's great.
Oh yeah.
Been all over the country. I love playing on the West Coast where you
Mm-hmm.
are. I was just out there about a month ago.
Oh wow. I wish I had known. Yeah.
Yeah, I was in San Jose. I got an award in San Jose.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that was in San Jose, California, about a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
I play in Orange County every year on the Wednesday night after Labor Day weekend. So
Mm-hmm.
I just did that.
Mm-hmm.
So I love playing. I love the weather in California and out
Yeah.
there where you live in Seattle. I
Yeah.
played in Seattle quite a
Yeah.
few times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I love going to good weather places.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, that's why I don't come back east because
Hmm.
I moved to South Dakota and
Uh,
I was there for like 9 years and
okay.
those winters were brutal.
Yeah.
And there was one winter where it was 65 below and it wasn't even the wind chill.
Wow. Yeah.
And the snow was so high you couldn't open the doors. And then the trees started, the limbs were breaking because of the heavy ice. And so it was tearing down all the lines. I was out of power for like 12 days. And that
Wow.
was during the time I had my foster kids. So I had to drive down the hill and drop them somewhere where they could be warmer. And
Uh-huh.
I was, there
Hmm.
by myself, just, melting snow because the power out and I had a well that meant it wasn't pumping. And so I was out there melting snow to make
Wow.
things. And that's when I said, this is my last year here. I could die
Yeah.
here. I thought, can't do this.
And
So
you
I
were
don't
there
want to
for
see any more snow.
you were there for 9 years.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Yeah, I was there. I was working with a tribal organization. I was the chief financial officer. And then I
Okay.
was also working with some of the tribes, helping them get software systems
Okay.
implemented. So it was, it was
Wow.
work related, but
Hmm.
that was quite the ordeal. So then I just decided no more snowy places. No, can't go there. I,
No.
I work, and I'm at the point now where I can work from home, so I work remotely, and I only go someplace when I have to, and so
Okay.
that makes it nice. But
So
yeah,
you don't miss the snow.
not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. I don't
But
want to wear the boots.
I
I
hear
don't want to wear the coat.
some people in California tell me they love all four seasons
Mm,
and they
mm,
miss, they miss the snow. They miss the cold winters.
yeah.
I think some people just like it because of the atmosphere or the feel that
Mm-hmm.
it presents when it happens,
Yeah.
especially at Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Well, I can always get in the car and go to Mount St. Helen
There
or
you
Mount
go. There you
Rainier or
go.
but
Right.
I haven't gotten in the car because I don't want to
Mhm.
see it.
Okay. Yeah.
Not interested at all.
Hmm.
So I wanted to ask you because when you played when we were in the church, you just always put your all into it, and you would
Uh-huh.
just begin to, you know, um, like you say, do your chords and make up chords in the middle. So, how
Right.
do you approach doing improvising during a live performance? Does it just come down naturally, or
Well,
how does that happen? Mm-hmm.
it comes naturally. It depends on your ear, how good your musical ear is. If you
Mm-hmm.
hear something you like, and if you're able to figure out what it is, that's part of the process. Of course, the feeling comes from playing in church.
Mm-hmm.
And you were asking me about my influences earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Elder John Mays
Oh yeah,
when
yeah.
he became the pastor of St.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Church of
Mm-hmm.
God in Christ. He also played the piano,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
he was a musical director, the choir director at the church he came from before coming to our
Mm-hmm.
church.
Right, right.
And he was like adamant about really believed that put all of your soul, all of your feeling.
Mm-hmm.
When you get up and sing like you mean it. When you play like you mean it.
Mm-hmm.
We grew up under those influences,
Right,
you
right.
know. And that's one thing I've carried through all my life. When I play in nightclubs, when I play on the big stage,
Mm-hmm.
everywhere I play, I put my heart into
Mm-hmm.
it. And that
Mm-hmm.
comes from Elder John Mays and all the other, mothers missionaries who get up and sing.
Mm-hmm.
A
Mm-hmm.
lot of that comes from, but then there's the academic part also.
Mm-hmm.
I told you I started with L.T. Dukes and Maury Klein, my piano teachers.
Mm-hmm.
I moved here to Columbus to go to school. I took lessons all my life, learned how to read music and how to get around on the piano more. Uh, and that comes from studying,
Mm-hmm.
so there's the academic part, and then there's the inspirational, the soul,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
the feel of music part,
Mm-hmm.
and if you put those two together, you're saying something
Mm-hmm.
when you
Mm-hmm.
play,
But
and that's
they at least need to have the disciplined
right,
part of the
right.
music,
Mm,
and understand how that works, and then allow you know
mhm.
that the mood to get you to add a
Yeah,
little pizzazz.
right.
Okay.
And some musicians forget the fact that when people come out to hear you play, they're coming out for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like, you're going to hear a good sermon. You want to be moved.
Yes.
You want to be inspired. And some musicians forget about that. They're so much into what they want to do and how they want to play to where
Mm-hmm.
they just forget about people listening, and they lose their audiences.
Yeah.
So when I talk to young people, I always bring that fact up. I always let them know, don't forget about the people you're playing. I mean, that's your road to success, actually.
Mhm, mhm.
'Cause if they don't like you, they're not going to come out and hear you.
Right, and not gonna tell anybody either. There's one thing
No,
about it.
no,
It's just like
right,
selling a product. It is a product,
right.
and you have to bring the best each time, and
Hmm.
you also gotta change it up sometimes to
Yeah.
say,
Mhm.
"Okay, you heard it this way, but I've got a little something else to put in
There
there,"
you
and you
go.
put a
Uh-huh.
new groove in it, just
Uh-huh.
to,
Yeah.
you know, make
Hmm.
them scream.
Hmm.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, Do you think the music industry has changed over the years, and how do you adapt to it? I mean, I'm sure as you started and where you are now, and as younger people are now entering, is the music industry changed a lot?
Yeah, it has. It has, and I'm trying to adapt as much as I can. Although I'm not I'm not so concerned to where I just get caught up into trying to stay up with what's going on.
Mhm,
But
mhm,
I mean, it's so different now than like back when I was growing up, I learned how to play by going out and buying albums
mhm,
and listening to the radio.
mhm.
Well, there are not that many people doing that these days.
Right.
Well, I mean, you have Spotify, you have Apple Music.
Mhm,
You don't listen to the radio as much as you listen to Spotify and Apple Music.
mhm,
And then that's how you learn. I learned by listening to albums. You know,
mhm,
I learned
mhm,
by going and sitting down with my music teachers, and they still do that today. But you have YouTube. There are people in Japan and in Australia, musicians that I know that can play like George Benson,
mhm,
and they've
mhm,
never stepped foot into the United States.
mm.
But they learn online. you know. So the
Yeah.
music industry is different for that reason. And also the business of the industry is different.
Mhm,
We can't make money like we used to from our recordings because
mhm,
everything is pretty much free now.
mhm.
You used to have to go out and pay for albums, but
Right,
you can go on Spotify now
and
and
just
pay
string it down.
$12 a month and
Mhm.
listen as much to anything
Yeah,
as much as you want.
right, right.
So where's the money for the composer and the
Mhm.
people flying? It's
Oh,
not
I've never
available.
even thought about that.
Yeah,
That is
it's not.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not available like it used to be.
Wow.
The only way that my best way of selling I still do CDs. My best way of selling CDs now is like when I go play a concert somewhere and
Mhm.
people might want a CD, like for a memoir,
Mhm.
because it has all the liner notes, it has your pictures, and then it
Right,
has the
right,
CD in it. You don't get all that when you go on Spotify.
right, right.
So it's kind of different. It's been technology has played a big part in changing music,
Mhm, mhm.
and there are probably quite a few other reasons too. Like,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I know the type of music has changed a lot, but then, like I said, with all the tech that's out there, it
hmm
really it's gotta make it difficult for those that are the musicians that, or have composed that music when you can just go to all these different platforms and just put the
yeah,
name in and do 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 do
mhm,
do, and,
yeah,
they're just downloading music, you know?
that's true. Now
It
there are ways of being successful through the
Mhm,
technology, the way technology is right now, which I'm not real familiar with. But
mhm,
I mean, there are people going on YouTube, and they're becoming big stars.
mhm,
They're getting like millions of likes,
mhm,
and then they're
mhm,
getting all these deals. You probably know more about that than I do since you're
mhm,
into
mhm.
technology. But
Right.
you get all these deals, and you can get recording deals just based on your popularity
Your popularity, right, right.
on these social platforms. You
Mhm,
know,
mhm,
um, so yeah, I'm not real familiar with that, but that's another example of how it's changed
mhm,
over the years.
right. And I mean, some of them, they're producing themselves. They don't have a
Right.
producer or anything like that. So it
Mhm.
it it looks like that, profession is changing quite a
Yeah,
bit. Um,
yeah. Another way it's changed is the approach or the way you perform. It's a lot easier now than it was when we were growing up. We actually learned how to play.
mhm,
They have keyboards and sequencers and loops now where you just play one note and it'll play the groove for you
mhm,
and the background music, the rhythms and everything. And you put a rap, you just put your own
right.
rap on top of it. And if you produce it and market it right, you can make millions of dollars.
Yeah,
We had to learn how to play.
But
Yeah.
somewhere in there, I can tell that it's not quite original.
Right. Right.
And when you're old school like myself, I can
Mhm.
tell the difference. I can tell whether it's pure music or it's something that has been, introduced with some of the technology that's out there.
Uh-huh.
Um, I think, and even, yeah, you can make the money, but are you really getting the joy out of making music itself? If it's just to
That's
go
a
get
very
a
good
check,
point.
then
Yeah.
you're not really enjoying that profession itself. And
Uh-uh.
so I think they're robbing themselves of the satisfaction that they're getting. Um,
True. True. Uh-huh.
but
And one,
everybody's chasing the
yeah,
dollar. So
true. Uh-huh. And another thing I share with young people when I talk with them, I always tell them to, try your best to keep it real.
mhm,
Keep it real. I mean, learn how to play. Go practice, learn music theory, learn how to
mhm,
really sing.
mhm,
And I tell them people will just like what you said, there are a lot of people out there that know the difference and they
mhm.
will appreciate you more and you will have more longevity in the business if you're like, I mean, look at all the people that were like true, just like genuinely great artists like Michael Jackson
Mhm,
and Miles Davis. I'm talking about
mhm.
innovators.
Innovators, yeah,
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
talking people that, and just look how long they lasted.
yeah, and
One of them, right,
they're in the Hall of Fame, and they're
right.
still playing their music.
They're still playing their music.
Mhm,
Uh, all those people kept it real. They were great artists. They
yeah,
worked on their skill, and they perfected it. And look where they're still great. They're not with us anymore, but they're
right.
still great. They're still great, and people playing their recording. Earth, Wind,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Fire.
yeah,
Earth,
yeah.
Wind, and Fire.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean,
You know,
I I that's one of the things I don't do Spotify or those things because I already have the CDs of all the wonderful artists that
right. Hmm.
we didn't have a choice. You had to get a CD or you had to get an album.
Uh-huh.
Um, and so I already have that and they can just plop it in my machine and
Hmm.
enjoy great music from the beginning where they actually really had notes in there. It wasn't,
Hmm.
some synthesized, you know,
Right.
um,
Right.
kind of like things that, and it just makes a difference. It really makes a
Hmm.
difference in what your product is. If you're proud of your product, you're going to want to do it from beginning to end. And like I
Hmm.
said, I think so many of them, they just want they've got the microwave
Hmm.
theory in their lives. They want everything right
Yeah.
now.
Right.
They want to
Right.
push the button, 30 seconds, there I am. And
Hmm.
if you don't kind of like do the journey, follow the journey, and enjoy the journey,
Hmm.
um, you really miss the joy of what it is that you're
You
doing.
do. You
And
do.
like you said, there's so many miserable people out there, and you don't
Hmm.
understand that just the struggle to
Hmm.
get that music written or to get that song done or whatever it is that you're doing,
Uh-huh.
that's the whole joy of it, is that you accomplished it,
Right.
and you
Hmm.
didn't take shortcuts. You put the time in, and
Hmm.
you are in that piece. You are
Right.
in that music. You are in that word, the words of that song, or you
Hmm.
are in that painting, or whatever it is that you're doing. If
True.
you put all of you in there, you are going to enjoy it because you know the struggle to make it to the point of perfection, or
Yes.
and
Yes.
that's what a lot of them are missing. They're
True.
missing, they don't want to do the struggle. But
Mm-mm.
the struggle's not hard if you let it flow like it should.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but if you're fighting in every moment because you hate it, you're probably doing the
Right.
wrong thing in the
Probably
first place.
doing the wrong thing.
Yeah,
Need to
yeah,
go find something else. Find something else to do.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
What do
Yeah.
you hope that audiences take away from your performances?
Um, Pretty much more of what they're taking away now, but
Mhm,
like maybe on a bigger level.
mhm, mhm,
And and don't get me wrong, my goal is not to be rich and famous,
mhm,
but I do want to broaden my. I want to get out and play more. You know, when I travel, and I travel a lot, I travel backing up other musicians. You know, I would like to do that on my own. You know, because I feel like I have a lot to say.
Oh, yes.
And I want people to know about that. You know, like I said, it's not about like making millions of dollars. You know, I just think I have that spiritual responsibility. You know, God gave me the gift. I got the gift from God. You know,
Yeah.
so He put me here for a reason. So I'm just trying to carry out His will. You know.
Yeah, and that's what we're all trying to do. And when we do that, we enjoy it, and we are provided for, and we do reach the goals. Yes, I definitely am saying, please do that, Bobby, because your music talks. I mean, you compare it to some of the noise. I'm sorry, that stuff that's out there right now. I can't even listen to it. But when I hear you playing, I was like, oh my gosh, I can actually hear words in the music. I mean, the music itself talks. It tells a story. It doesn't even need any words. It just talks. And, and you can tell it's coming, it's sending a message from above.
Right.
And
Thank
that's
you.
important.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's true. It all comes from above. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like I'm just a vessel. You know, I'm just here and he's playing through me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
And that's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. It's like a heavenly message coming from the throne to earth, and you are the conduit that's bringing that to humanity.
Now
And
that sounds like a book that should be written. From the throne
go
to
ahead,
earth.
start writing.
Or a song or something, you know.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah, it is definitely. So do you have any projects you're working on right now, or do you have any music you're getting ready to record? Or
Yes, I'm actually, I was just telling somebody the other day I'm doing too much. But yeah, I'm working on a lot of things. I have concerts coming up like over the next 2 months. Big concerts. I'm being featured with the Columbus Jazz Orchestra on Rhapsody in Blue.
Oh, okay, that should be beautiful. Yeah.
And that is, I think that's next week. This Thursday, I'm participating in a concert with like 3 other top jazz pianists here in Columbus. And then the theme of it is A Handful of Keys. That's this Thursday.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to go to St. Louis and play with the St. Louis Orchestra with members of the Rolling Stones. And we're doing a project that it's Chuck Berry's, is it his 100th birthday? But we're doing a tribute to Chuck Berry.
A tribute to Chuck Berry.
Yes.
Well,
with
so
St. Louis.
how can people find out about all of these things? Do you have a website or?
I don't have a website. You know, some stuff. I'm not very good when it comes to keeping. I used to have a website years ago, back when websites were more popular. I put stuff on Facebook every now and then.
Okay.
My daughter does a lot for me.
She does jazz too. I've heard her. She's
okay.
Yeah, she's outstanding. So that musical gift is still going.
Yeah. Oh, she's my heart. She's my sweetheart. But she's like really good when it comes to technology.
Okay.
So she kind of keeps me up on everything. She'll put stuff on Facebook and Instagram. And
well, I'll have to be sure and grab it and post it so that people know how to be able to find you and to go somewhere to enjoy your music, and so I can be in tune, so I can get there also, because I love great music. Well, we're gonna have to get ready to wrap this
I'll let
up.
you know next time I'm coming out.
Definitely. So I can show up and just enjoy that music and that time and everything. But This has really been great, Bobby, because a lot of people, like I said, they don't understand what it's like to live your dream, to be doing the thing that they enjoy most.
Right.
And being able to talk with you, seeing that you have really, lived your dream, that has just been wonderful. I appreciate you. I appreciate you joining me today. And for those that have been listening, yes, you can have a dream, and yes, you can fulfill that dream. You just have to decide what that dream is. You're going to put your life into that dream, and you're going to make that dream happen. Stop the noise from outside and all the things that are trying to stop you from fulfilling your dream. Fulfill your dream and live a great one.
Amen.
Join us next Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Pacific Time, and A Sharp Outlook. And whatever you do this week, stay informed. I want to thank you for joining us on A Sharp Outlook. We have been informed and energized to take the next steps. We have posted links to websites and videos to learn more on today's topic. Please join us again next week for another thought-provoking conversation right here on K4 HD Radio and Talk 4 TV. Listen to the podcast on all the podcast apps. And until next week, stay informed.